Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show Live. I am the big guy, Ryback. Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great weekend here. Streaming live on Instagram and TikTok, the big guy, Ryback22. Thank you for all the love and support over on those platforms. Swing on over to Ryback TV on YouTube if you're not already. Hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. You guys, turn on notifications if you haven't already. Not that it really matters for the most part over there. We're streaming there, Twitch at Ryback Rules and Twitter at Ryback. Podcast is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated if you have a minute to go and do that. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors. Vegan friendly for men and women on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20. That's RYBACKSHOW20 at checkout on feedmemore.com. The new merch is up. The new website is going to hopefully be launched in the next under 2 weeks, hopefully the next week. We're just fine tuning, and it is kick ass. But we have the original site up, but if you click on the menu bar under products and merch, you can select all the different options. And a lot of those are already, the fulfillment is up and running already on that. And we have orders coming in. They put that live, but there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be added as well. More Feed Me More Nutrition stuff. But we have a lot of Ryback Hungry FMM with the Feed Me More brand, doing a lot of FMM branding moving forward with stuff. A lot of just all the Ryback Rules, the Hungry, the Feed Me More, all of that is all on there. We've had accessories. We've got a lot of hats. We got tank tops, and you can collect long shirts, sweaters. We have all the different color options. I just got a bunch of my stuff in that for me, and it is very, very high quality. I believe you guys are going to be really happy with the merchandise, and I'm super pumped to have this a part of everything and the people that I'm working with going forward. And like I said, they work with Mike Tyson, Eminem, Donald Trump Jr., big people here. They do very, very good business. These are true professionals. So I'm super grateful that I was able to get linked up with them, and as we proceed with everything moving forward. This show, guys, super chats are brought up on the screen. The big guy's coffee money on that here on Ryback TV. Today's coffee, thanks to Steve, he actually tweeted me, and this happens to me. I would say this happens a couple times a month usually, and it's happened for a long time. And I always thought, I don't know if the people recognize me that do it. And then other times, like I'll pay for the car behind me, when it happens. Today I had the dogs. It's a little guy's birthday, and I made the guy in front of me, though, I guess, recognized me, which is nice. I didn't know it at the time. And the girls, the Starbucks came over to see the dogs at the window. But they said the man in front paid for my coffee. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Got a couple pup cups for the dogs, which those are free anyways. But he tweeted me and said that this morning's coffee is on me. Happy birthday to little guy. And I looked and it said Steve Norton, where I live. And I was really like, cool. Thank you, man. So thanks, Steve. It's greatly appreciated. And the dogs had their pup cups, doing an early version of the Ryback show today, going straight from here to go do the cardio and conditioning and in the sauna. And I'm going to go do that at the gym today. And then got some other stuff planned for later on here. So getting this all done early. Up at the dogs today. Got up at 5:15 a.m. today. So about 7 hours and 20 minutes of sleep. So I'm as long as I get that 7 to 8, I'm ready to rock and roll. Love the test booster, big guy. Thank you, G Mason, man. Oh, I always love hearing the feedback on the supplements. And if you ever get a chance to leave a review, please do on Amazon. It really helps us out with all of that on all the supplements. If you guys could do that, and it makes me feel good that you love everything that we're putting out. Walter, I saw you there. Don't want to miss Double W in the house. Hey, Ryback, happy birthday to little guy. Thank you, Walter. Did you get the pups some Frosty Paws to celebrate? Much love to you and the family. Thank you, buddy. I got them. So I went to this Wolf Bakery that I didn't even know was not that far from me. I usually go to this 3-Dog Bakery in Summerlin. But I went to this one. My dad told me about it. It's up on my side of town, and the lady was really really nice, and I got them a bunch of treats and started them yesterday. They've got 4 new dog bones, and then they have a bag full of treats, happy birthday bars, which I've not given those yet. But what I've done is I cut them in little pieces for them, and like little guy, because that stuff can be a little bit dry. Like little guy will just like wolf that stuff down and start choking and like coughing, and so I got to just anything I give them, I always got to just whenever you have smaller breeds and they're just crazy. And Sophie, she's a little more conservative when stuff, but she'll still you got to watch her. And so I cut them in really tiny pieces, and they've been getting them all throughout the last 2 days here. And then they got the pup cups from Starbucks, which that was the first time I got them for them. And now I have a feeling that I'm going to have to get those. I'm not going to do it every time. I don't want to be giving them whipped cream all the time, but maybe make it a once a week thing after this, because they loved them. And I waited till I got home. I put them in the cup holder on the way home, and little guy tried to get to it a few times, but I knew if I would have given that to him in the car, there would have been whipped cream, because you have to like squeeze it out for them. Their little tiny faces. Sophie can't even get her face past the beginning of it. Little guy can dig his nose in there a little bit, but I had to like clean up the kitchen floor after we got done. They're like the little gremlins just eating the chicken. No matter what you give them, they're just like you should see them when I give them their morning food. Like, and I make them black and white rice with pinto beans, and then they get chicken that is grinded up in a food processor with a bunch of vegetables, and they get all that mixed together, cooked in a big bowl for 3 minutes, stirred up really well so it's just mildly warm, not hot on that. And then and they get food just everywhere. They have it all over their faces and noses, and I got to like clean them up afterwards. And it's like just having little kids. I can imagine. It's like it is something else. But they love car rides now. I didn't realize they would love car rides so much. So like now, like if they know I'm going to go get a coffee, they both just like little guy will hop up on the couch and just stare at me like he's going. And I got to put their harnesses on him and take him out and load him up into the car and go get him, take him for a ride. Little guy has his face out I rolled the window down just a little bit, enough where he could stick his little face out, and he just rides with his face out the window the whole time. So, Shiki baby, good to see you, my man. Shell shocked out of Rybackville very early in the AM. Shiki baby. Shiki baby hitting the bottle very early in the morning. Thank you very much, C-Mac. Keep up the great inspiration. Enjoy listening to your positivity. Thank you very much, my man. Just living life, doing my best. I took out a light post. I had a solar light post. I have 2 of them out back. I had to cement them into the ground. I didn't do it was like it was not. I did it when I was on the road in WWE, so I was on very limited time. I got the job done. I got them into the ground and everything, but they were not like they ran their course. The solar lights eventually went out on them after I've been here now 8 years. So the solar lights went out maybe like a couple years ago. And I was like, well, it really doesn't serve a purpose. I want more lighting by my pool. So I actually ordered some of these big solar lights, like security lights that you can leave on, but also get brighter if they sense motion. So I'm ordering a couple of those to cover the whole diameter of the backyard on the whole side yard by the pool. I took out that light early this morning. I was like, I just got the power drill out. I go, I got to get rid of this. Yanked it out of the ground. I had to get the ground a little wet. I'm not Incredible Hulk or anything, but I literally ripped the whole thing out from the ground. And after I took all the top pieces apart, and the moringa tree is going to go over there that I have. And so I'm pumped, but I got to give the moringa tree 2 weeks. I think I can't plant it until the 26th, so that it's ready. It's strong, because on the shipping, the moringa trees get really stressed out on the shipping according to I've learned as I've gotten older to follow the directions on things. And I don't know, I think it's a guy thing where you're just like, oh, directions, it's stupid. I just do whatever I want. Ryback rules. And then it's like, I don't know if it's like being a 40 thing or what, but I was like, got to give it 2 weeks. It says 2 weeks. We're going to give it 2 weeks. But like, I tell you, I think if this was last year, I think I would have just planted it right away. But I really want this moringa tree to survive, and I've read that they do well in Vegas, especially getting it put in now, and it will have about 5 months of really good weather to really get its roots system strong. So, but yeah, man, I've just trying to live my best life, and I'm like the guy from Major League with guy like with anger issues. Serrano, what's the big home run hitter, and I'm very in tune with myself as well, where I try to keep my calm as much as possible. I've had to with everything going on with WWE, and I feel like it's a test just to just get me to rage as much as possible. But I'm like, I've got a pretty good grip. I've had some elite practice on how to handle like the worst, most stressful situations. So, and again, it depends. If you follow me and watch me, you're like, the guy's overwhelmingly positive and have instances of maybe negativity. And if you don't follow me, you're like, this guy's nothing but negative. He's the worst human being in the world. And so it just depends on what side of the coin you're on. So, but I appreciate that you're on the right side of the coin, in my opinion. What a random question, but it's a legitimate question. Did you ever accidentally touch someone's junk while in the ring? LOL. Well, I'll tell you, this is probably going to be the title of today's show. That's because that's a real clickbait title there. The Ryback talks. What would be the name of the title? I got to add in right the feed me the Ryback Show live presented by Feed Me More Nutrition. Ryback talks junk. Did Ryback ever accidentally touch anybody's junk in the ring? It's a long title, but I'll figure out a way to make it work. I can't remember. Like it's the last thing you do not think about any of that sort of stuff at all when at least I never did. But there's a lot of wrestling moves. I'll tell you, I did oftentimes power bombs where I'll put the power bomb. I'd go to my side of the shoulder. If you ever noticed, I did it a few times where if I didn't feel comfortable with the person going to the side, where I go straight up with that. But when you power bomb a guy and you're going like, ask Wardlow. He knows, he does the straight up one. He does it junk in the face. And I'm like, man, more power to you. I always went to the side, but I did a few in the front. And I go, just I'd rather just go to the side if you could just avoid it. There's a lot of things with pro wrestling where it makes you question, like, what are we doing? Look at the tombstone. The tombstone. There's people in the adult industry that Phoenix Marie's well versed in the tombstone. There's a lot of things in wrestling where you get those still images that live forever, and you're just like, just imagine, everything in the world goes to things happen, and like all that's left is a few like things of random wrestling footage, and you're like, what did that civilization? What did those people do with each other? I don't. If ever the number one thing where I guarantee you it had to have happened was on gorilla press slams, because your hand, and that's why I wore the gloves so that I could get a better grip on guys' thighs and different things, because your hands are sweaty. Guys are wearing baby oil. That was 100% the only reason I ever wore gloves. And I have my palms are sweaty right now. I've just naturally always got sweaty palms when I start just physically in like training, cardio, weight training. So the gorilla press would be where it definitely would happen but you always tried, because that's the most painful thing for another wrestler when gorilla press. I mean, if you do not want to get them and get their smash them, it is that, I mean, all their weight, and it's like you're in the middle of a move. And they don't want to mess up the move either, by squirming around. It's, you don't want anything to explode. But I'm trying to think of any other particular situation that it could be prone on happening. But I mean, you're constantly doing things with people. You shoot in to give a guy a schoolboy roll up, and you're taught to hook in there, and you try to hook on the inside of the thigh, with your arm. But there's grazing and touching going on left and right, and not on purpose, at least. But it's I don't know how else. It's pro wrestling. And then somewhere along the line, Vince chose he wanted everyone in underwear. Put him in underwear. Where's the babe? Where's Derek the oil boy? Oil above him. Put him in underwear. So. Justin, another good question. Well, I think I missed a super chat. Justin, don't let me forget this on the Royal Rumble. Was it a headache to put together or remember spots? That's a very, very good question. Super chat from Nemesis. Thank you very much. Is it true Angle has tortured guys twice your size? I'm not. What's the context of this? Are you talking like in a dungeon basement? Like I don't know what's going on here. What's the context? I've never heard anything of this. Kurt Angle's a beast though. Kurt Angle was always very nice to me. You know, I really wish I could have wrestled Kurt and in his prime, and me feeling good and me now. I feel like even not before, not now. Like when I go back, like because I feel like that's going to be my prime. With just I feel so good, but he is just an absolute beast. And I've always heard he was a cardio machine, which that motivates me because I think I'm a cardio machine. And people, and I know there's going to be people that be like, oh, Ryback's not a cardio machine. He blows up. You have no clue what you're talking about on any of that. But I would have loved to wrestle him. And when I left WWE, I know he did some interviews and stuff and said I was one of the guys he would have liked to work with. And I remember him and Cody wrestled at a show I was at, for Northeast Wrestling, which runs, I really like them a lot. They run really, really good shows and always drew really big crowds. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it's from a wrestling standpoint. You know, I wish it would have been nice to see. I think it would have been really exciting. And again, he would have had to have been healthy. And I'm glad he didn't do it because knowing how in his injuries and things. But, you know, I think if Kurt would have got into MMA instead of WWE just right after, you know, I think that he would have had a lot of success. But yeah, everything I've never seen him like, you know, he wasn't there when I was there, but the stories that you hear, obviously he's a gold medalist in Olympic wrestling. Like it's so as far as that, but you know, that's the cool thing. Like MMA, you put that different styles up against things, but having that wrestling background is huge for the guys that can do that. And if you can get some decent at striking and not getting hit, and you saw what Brock was able to do to people, right? And you know, we've heard the stories of Kurt and Brock, and Kurt supposedly, you know, got I don't know if he's got the better of him. I wasn't there for it, so I can never. But I think that's kind of what the rumor was on just from a wrestling standpoint, right? With that, so it's safe to say he probably would have had a lot of success taking people down and and transitioning into that. So, but I don't know. I've never heard I mean, twice my size. It's like almost 600 pounds, man. So that's what I'm asking. Like, I don't know if he has like a thing for like he goes and finds like big overweight because that's the only weight 500-600 pound people that are like severely overweight and like tortures them. Is that what I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't routinely see people twice my size walking around on this planet. But I've always gotten along really well with Vince Russo. Vince Russo, and if somebody asked what my thoughts were on him, Vince Russo is respected by all the other top guys in the wrestling business that worked with him. And I don't listen. I'm sure, you know, the other thing is too, and I'm going to tell you this from experience, and I see him doing it. I've actually learned a lot from seeing, like, I could see he loves pro wrestling and he's really, really passionate about it, obviously, as all of us that do it are. And I believe in, like, with him, and I think he's suppressed in things. Like, I think he's on that list. And I'm telling you that list is going to come out. There's a list, these social media companies I told you, and Vince and his partnerships, it's going to come out, and I'm on it. And there's quite a bit of other wrestlers that are on it. And I think he dealt with that before I dealt with it. And I know I dealt with it because they sent me the legal letter, which I told you about. That's a big mistake. because now you've exposed yourself that you want the social media and you will do whatever you can to now silence me. You have shown your hand on that. But I think in his case, and what happens, and I do, you get silenced, and then hate occurs, and the hate can be overwhelming, and you have your voice is very limited on everything, and that's why he started his own podcast network on everything on that. And so I have a deep understanding of what he went through, and probably still does. And he's a very smart man, and he's a very nice man. I've talked to him multiple times. I think he called me last year. He did. I think it was last year, and time flies. And just had a nice little, just a call and had a conversation. And I've done his show. He's done my show, and he's I've always enjoyed him. I think that if people's biggest gripe with him is he says "bro" too much, I'm like, it doesn't. I've never once been like, man, that bothers me. It just, people talk how they talk, and I love talking to him because he's so passionate, and it's like the energy and just the energy level increases just by talking to him. You know what I mean? Like, and I dig that, because a lot of people can be downers. He's an upper, and in the, not to say the old wrestling fans and people are gonna always have their opinions on stuff, but he's literally lived and been a big part of multiple organizations, companies, right? And pro wrestling is pro wrestling. There's ideas that are good, great, and some are not so great and whatnot. But I've never seen anything would never like hate somebody for different things, or like I always I liked him when I was growing up when he went to WCW. I watched all his segments on TV. I didn't read like stuff that a lot of people, I didn't even know there was internet stuff to like talk bad about people or anything. Like, so yeah, I like him. And then I don't listen to everything that he does or says and things, but all my interactions with him, which is all that I can really go by, have been very positive and nice. And he seems like a very genuine human being that is a caring individual. So thank you for telling me about my impressions are so funny. Yeah, you never know when a Vince impression is going to just come out. I do remember the bully segment where backstage, that was in California, I believe, where the dad did not know my name, but it was on my vest, but that was part of the skit. Yo, big guy, what's your sleeping like when you're fasting? Uh, on the days that I've done it, the multiple day fast, I have no issues. I usually wake up super energized uh, when I'm fasting and sleep while fasting. Uh, very noticeable energy increase early in the morning on that, in my experience. Joseph says that he's been using more beet juice powder in his drinks. It's amazing. Yeah, I switched over to just eating beets and doing I get the bags of organic beets and like the frozen ones, and I just put in my morning performance meal with radishes. Beets are absolutely amazing though. The powder is great. I just, after I had the spilling accident in my car, and the stuff just is a mess. If you get it, stains your mouth, it stains your lips. I just eat the beets and cook them in my meal. Justin, yeah, thank you. The question on the Royal Rumble. Uh, was Royal Rumble an administrative nightmare, headache to remember sequences or of eliminations, timings, etc.? Thanks. Fantastic question. And no, believe it or not, and I don't know why it's not. I I have, and again, I have a pretty solid memory on things, but it depends on. I would imagine though, if you're in the Rumble number one and you're in there for an hour straight, and you have to, what you will do is you just remember your stuff on that, and you know what's going on around your stuff. Um, and the more time in the day that you have to get that together, the better. Oftentimes, and this is where Royal Rumbles can be a real nightmare. Every single one I was ever a part of, and luckily, like the one that 2013 was it right where I was me came down to me and Cena. I didn't go in there till the very end. So, and it wasn't overly difficult. And then I've been in other ones where I was in there in different parts, and the one with Batista where Batista eliminated me, and me and Batista had our spot, and that was super easy. But you just know what's going on before and after, and in which the I'm trying to they have a they Royal Rumbles would be a lot better if they were planned. If you knew, if everything was set the day before, so that you knew what you were doing when you got to the building, and you could spend that day at the arena and already thinking. And it'd be better if you weeks out if you knew it. And sometimes that's not possible. But say if the guys had at least a day of knowing without things changing, it would really help to allow people to think of creative spots and different things. The ones that I was at there, the meetings were going on literally in the room, going over things and things changing with producers. What the Royal Rumble is like 3 matches away, and things hadn't even been planned out. And like I think that was the last one Punk left right after, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the one with Batista. And I remember that one was as chaotic as anything I'd ever seen, just from a creative perspective, of being really just too late in the day and unorganized, because everyone's like, but that's a testament to the wrestlers, how great wrestlers are at like coming up with stuff really quickly, and but it could be it's definitely the more people that are involved. And I'll leave you with this for Matt. My favorite type of thing to do is just a one-on-one match. The more people that are involved in a match, the more difficult it is, because now you're dealing with people that everyone has their own ideas and things, and some people have no ideas, but people just want to get stuff in, or people want to do this. And it's like, all right, what's the point of the match? And I've been on both ends of this, where it's for me a lot of times, and I've been involved. And I'm going to tell you, there was a situation. I'm not going to say the guy's name. He's not with them anymore. And he's known, recognized as someone that's really good. And he was complaining about the Shield, because the Shield, they were pushing them really hard. And I always volunteered to take their power bomb. And because I believed in the end I was going to get it all back anyways. And I knew that they were behind them and they wanted to make them. And they always were great with me on things, on making me for different moments. And I remember, like, the guy was like, F this. We were sitting in the locker room. What it was in, I want to give you the arena. It was in Houston, Texas. Because I remember, I have a good memory on what the arena looked like. And I remember I left a sweater there that pissed me off. I really liked that sweater. And the guy was really upset because it was putting over the Shield, and they were getting over on us for the evening. And I just said, I go to him, I just said, this is not for us. I said, it's to get them over. I go, if we don't do business, I go, it's going to hurt us. And he got it, and he understood. But we've all had our moments on, like, where you're frustrated, and I've had mine on it with all of that. But like, it's when you got to do good business on those sorts of things. But the more people that are involved, ultimately, it can make things more difficult for matches. Not always. If everyone's on the same page, it's great. But it's why, like, matches where, triple threats or fatal four ways, those have to be planned out and discussed for a pretty good period of time, because if you can't have action everywhere. If you ever notice, guys need to get down, and guys got to you call it staying small, laying low, where you get taken out and let other guys work and go into sequences. And that takes a lot more effort and planning than a one-on-one match, where you can put your certain things in there, but you can also improvise a little more, and you can improvise a little bit in between when you got the guys, or you got to be good enough to just know and take guys out. Like, you could do a triple threat and fatal four-way on the fly if everyone is really on the same page and you understand, like, all right, what's the point of this? What's the business of this? And then you just working on the fly, and guys going small at random times, and You could do it, and I've done it in developmental, and they could be a real mess as well on that. But it's yeah, and once you understand like a structure of a match, an idea, and like in a triple threat, somebody's going to be staying small for every period. You could but if you don't know that, it could make putting that together really difficult. Hello, hello. Do you have more than one gym membership? And how do you decide which to go with? I did. I went back down to just the one at LVAC. And then I have my own home gym. So I train at my gym 3, 4 days a week, and I'll pop into the gym a couple days a week, which is why I'm going today on that to get in there to do my cardio and hit the sauna. I did my cold tub and hot tub this morning after I got done digging the hole for the moringa tree and figuring out where that was going to go. Where after I took that light out, and but you find a gym, it's where you go and you go walk around. Usually they'll let you work out for a day if they know you're thinking about joining. And I think you go to a few of them and you try them out. You look around at the different machines and the weights and the setup, and you decide if it's something that if you like the vibe and the environment. A lot of gyms too, though, you can get like here in Vegas. You can go to EOS Fitness, EOS, and EOS is how it's pronounced. And you can get a membership for $9.99 to one gym. And I think for all their gyms, it's like $19.99 or $24.99. So it's not overly expensive, And I think like mine, I think I pay like $99 a year for LVAC because I joined initially for a certain period of time where it locks you in for that $99 for life after you pay whatever a certain amount. So I'm on that one just makes I'm not going to let that go on a locked in on that rate. So but the EOS, like I'm next to a couple of them here, but I'm just going to the gym like I said a couple days a week now. So and it's usually just the LVAC. But that's what I would do personally when trying to find a gym. Just see if you like the vibe and the environment and the machines. Walter, that's really awesome that your daughter wants to start going to the gym with you now. I think that's going to be a really really good experience for both of you, and that's good. She's getting hashtag hungry at a young age. There's no bad that can come from that. No bad whatsoever. And I think that that is I think a great thing for anybody that has kids to that the moment they're able to start going to the gym with you. I think it's cool quality time you can spend together and actually be very productive, right? And so I think that's really really cool, man. I love it. I wish I could take my dogs to the gym, which my dogs come in the gym with me at my house. So they watch me work out. Sophie doesn't like it when I lift heavy though. When the big guy starts going heavy, Sophie gets a little. She'll like she moves away from the weights. She doesn't like the grunting and the loud clanging and banging. Derek, the oil boy says, Ryback, you need me to grease you up with baby oil. It will be amazing. Derek, not particularly for the Ryback show or any other thing that in my life that I could think of. I told you when I wrestled, I don't wear baby oil. I pour ice cold water over me to wake the nerves up, to wake up. It's feeding time. You know, but I do WWEcorp.com, Derek. You submit the application, you leave me as the referral, the big guy, Ryback Reeves, and you see if you can get in. It's Derek. You could literally be wearing a WWE staff T-shirt, the button-up shirt, be taking photos with real doctors and trainers, athletic trainers, and you with your little gloves and baby oil, just in the picture, just right there, part of the staff. You might have to start down at NXT. I bet you Matt Bloom would let you. Tenzai would let you oil him up. That big hairy body. I bet you he'd let you oil him up. I bet I could see him being cool with that, just to get you some practice before you go to the talent. Definitely see A-Train letting you Prince Albert letting you throw a little baby oil on that big hairy body of his. Give it a shot, Derek. It's not putting oil on me, but you never know. As far as you might be able to like witness me like going to the ring or something at some point in time. I don't know. But getting that staff picture, that would be my goal if I were you, Derek. Super chat from Orbitary. Thoughts on The Rock claiming he only dabbled with steroids temporarily in his college football years and has since been 100% PED free. I've not seen anything where he said that. If you could leave, so I'm very don't want to ever leave comments or opinions on things that I don't know anything about, and it's I don't know I'm sure The Rock is and again TRT HRT, but there's TRT HRT needs to be done within normal levels. And all I'm going to say is, without knowing anything about this situation, is people's. If you ever look, like, my body stays very consistent. Even when like I had to train lighter, I still looked like I still was muscular. Like I had my abs, even though I'd lost maybe 10, 12 pounds because I wasn't able to lift as heavy when my injuries were at their worst with that, right? But like you don't see like the texture of my skin change. You don't see, and I just think if you look throughout my career, it's very consistent, right? And I think that is a very big thing with people, to see how their body has consistently looked on things. And I just think, I don't know. And I think if you go back and look at different photos, there's been a drastic change in the physique over the years with everything. And he's in roles that require weight loss, weight gain, in different things. But I don't know him. I don't know. I don't know that anything he said on that. So it doesn't, I've just learned it doesn't benefit me to give like an opinion on like stating he's telling the truth or he's lying. It's at the end of the day, I could just be honest about what I'm doing. And you guys got to take the information I gave you, and you can form your own opinions, right? I put on a little hockey the other day. I don't know how many wrestlers live in Vegas. Well, Moxley and Renee, they left back to Cincinnati, I think, last year? And they were out in Henderson. I don't know. I know there's some that live here. Well, Glenn Disco Inferno's here. I think Sin Bodhi's here. I don't know who else. I don't know who else. Other people have lived here at different periods. I know that Milena Roca used to live out here. Other than that, I don't. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of any others. Oh, I know. Victor from the Ascension used to live out here. I don't know if he still does or not. I was never ever really that close with him. I always got along with him, but I just know I remember I drove him. He drove back with me from a California show one time towards the end up there, and I dropped him off at his place. Super chat, the Oscar. Thank you, buddy. Just sending some love to the big guy. Thoughts on Danhausen? Are comedy gimmicks good for wrestling? Yeah. So here's the thing. I have no issue with any of these in pro wrestling. My thing, and I think he's being used. Like I saw, he got beat last week really quickly on TV, and they're doing the tag. But clearly, there is interest in his persona and character where you can make a lot of money off of that. And the key is just using him in the right roles and segments. Now here's where the I think, and I haven't seen them do anything with him that is like, they're not taking him and saying, "Oh, we're going to make this guy the world heavyweight champion," right? That's not what they're doing, and I that's a good thing. but he could still have interactions with all the top guys and use him in different things. And I'll tell you, I've seen from the way that he talks, and it's you look and you're just like, I remember the first time I saw him, completely just like, what the hell is this? And then you just see, like, you never had heard of him, never had seen anything with him, and you just see have like interviews and different interactions, and he's pretty entertaining and funny, and like I like that, and I think that that fits into the total programming of a wrestling show that you need to try to attract all different people. But if you miscast him in the wrong role and say this is the baddest guy on the planet, it doesn't work, right? That's where casting the right talent in the right roles is absolutely imperative to the success of pro wrestling as a whole. And it is something that they got away from for a while. And you cannot miscast people or try to cast people in roles that is not the first role they should be playing. It's just the way that it is. And if guys are on the smaller side on that, and it's very noticeable with that, you keep them in programming in matches, in programs and matches, just like the UFC would with weight classes. And every once in a blue moon, you could do a storyline with a special talent if you do it right with it. But you got to try to, because it's pro wrestling, and pro wrestling you could bend the rules with, right? And there are no rules. But you try to respect the psychology and in real life things that have been proven, like, so I like it. And I think it's one of those things that has worked. And, it's like Wardlow. Wardlow's working really well right now. Why? Because he's cast in a role that is believable for how he, for what he's done and what they're doing with him. And it's been one of the highlights of that company, I believe, and now they're going to have a challenge on their hands on keeping this going, because it has to be, and everything is great right now with that, but they need to, like, if I'm them, I'm looking at this, I go, we need to make sure we've got the next year mapped out. The next year, like, we need to know exactly what we're doing from this point to the next, and how we're going to transition out of this to the next, because if you don't, the momentum can go down really quickly with that, and you want it to keep going up when you have that working to that degree with that, right? In my opinion, and from things I know and from what I've seen and what I've been involved in with that. So, but yeah, man, I think too, with Danhausen, like, you don't also like let him, like, his segments and different things. You have fun with it, but you're careful with it as well. Like, you're not just having him go over and get over, like, in like on, like, you wouldn't put Wardlow and him in the ring and let him get the best of Wardlow right now, right? You get what I'm saying? It just wouldn't be you could put them in the ring and have them do stuff, but again, and Wardlow's a babyface, so this wouldn't be the ideal situation because Danhausen is liked by the people. But, like, where he takes it a little too far with him and then gets 10 power bombs. If they did that right, it could actually be a really, really entertaining, great segment. Which, if they let Danhausen do something where he's kind of the heel, he goes too far with Wardlow in the ring. You know what I mean? And then, like, everyone, it's like, well, he had it coming, and it creates a cool moment, and Wardlow would get way more over, and you can get a segment like that where it would work, but the right thing, the right outcome, that's the more believable outcome, right? Would be the result of that. So, but yeah, I like him. I like everything. He's grown on me from not knowing anything and seeing him randomly just appear, which I think sometimes they do that and they put people out there. But since in learning of a little bit more about him, it's been very good in my opinion. Alpha Blue, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. Gary in Chicago saying hi. What's going on, Gary? Bro, Tyree, that's I mean, great question, but I don't have time. How would I cast the WWE current talent? I would literally have to sit down and look at that on the roster and see how people are being used, and some people are being used correctly, and some, if not a lot, are not being used correctly. It would come down to a case on case basis. So I'd have to look at that. You have to have discussions. And again, and this is what I'm really big on that's missing, I think, as a whole in pro wrestling, is, and so you've the WWE, and you've got all these writers, you have all these people that are working with it. Their job is creative on this. You need to be able to look at a character, and they need an end goal for every character. No TV show, like, you just can't just put people in and not have goals. People that don't have goals are the ones that get released eventually, and on top of the shocking ones where they do seem figured in with that. But, like, look at a guy like Apollo Crews, and you say, you sit down and you've got Apollo with the big man with him, and you go, well, what's the end result of this character? What is the point of him playing this character? What do we want the end goal for this character to be? Do we want to? But then you have to have that discussion. You need to have a discussion with him. Bring the big man in. Where do you guys see yourselves in 2 years with this gimmick? What do you want the goal to be in 2 years? And then you get some common ground, and then you could start actually building and working. But the idea is, though, when you're in those creative meetings and guys get put into things because you got to get TV, you'll know how to get guys back on track, even though you got to use guys for other guys at different times. If you know the end character goals for each performer, it allows you to use them better week to week, which I believe is lost. And there's not that much thought being put into individual characters from a long-term perspective that is missing in pro wrestling, because they've gotten too big, too much programming, and it's laziness as well. And you got to have writers, like I told you. You've got all these writers. Bring in double the writers. Bring in a whole group of different people where their only job is character goals and development, that they can be part of these meetings. That way, when you go like, oh, God damn it, we need somebody to put over Roman on TV this week. And then little Johnny over there is like, I've got a great idea. Let's use Apollo Crews. And then you've got little Steven, the creative guy that's in charge of character goals, goes, no, guys, we've got this direction with Apollo that we need to go to. God damn it, Apollo, we're not using Apollo. And then people can, but those discussions are taking place, and then you put, bring back Heath Slater. Somebody to put in for there. Okay? But that's not happening. And that, I'm telling you, is a problem. Character goals. AEW, where do you want Wardlow to be in 1 year? You need to know that to a T. It's not, let's just figure things out week to week. That is playing Russian roulette that is shown repeatedly not to work. Let's see. But there's a lot of talent, and like I said, not everyone's going to be able to be the world heavyweight champion, but you need to have the group of guys that you do believe have that potential, and that you're going to leave, and that even if they're not in that upper circle at the moment, and you know what I mean? You need to have groups and things broken down into classes, and just again, you just need to know the point, the character goal doesn't have to be a championship. It could be so many different things. And maybe you can have people play different characters with the idea of that they're going to transition to another character or evolve the character after a certain period and I think talent would appreciate it so much more if there was honesty and transparency, and they're paid and get screwed around with based off of just different things that are being used or not used, where you go, look here, Vince has a meeting with Apollo, and I'm just using him because I saw he was on Main Event, and they're not doing a lot with him and the big man with that. And but you say, look, I need you for the next, I don't want to use you in this role for too long, but I need you to be a good soldier for a year. We're going to have you on everything. But maybe it's not going to be this. We want you to keep this current character and thing, but we're going to be using you to put people over. We'll give you some wins here and there, but we're going to use you in a little bit of a different role. Let's think, what can we do in the next year to transition out of this to give you more of a push, right? I think that would go so far with talents, to have these conversations with them and be honest with them, rather than say, no, everything's fine. You're doing great. We love everything you're doing, but yet you're getting buried in the meetings and they're lying to you, right? That would, in talent, would be so much more happy and respectful of people with honesty and communication, rather than just saying, "Oh, everything's great. You're doing great. You're doing awesome," but you're just lying because you don't want to be honest. You don't want to tell people, because everyone knows, wrestlers know it's all physical acting with it. but hey, don't take my pay from $1 million down to $400,000 and work me twice as hard and tell me there's no issues, right? And then turn around and then you cut me or do whatever, right? Then like conversations, character goals. Yeah, a lot of Vince impressions today. Sorry. And Mr. Jacked says Ryback with so much power, how do you contain it all? Just been born with it, man. I live with it every day, so it just becomes just get used to it. Okay, we've got a really random question here. If someone gave you $1 million right now in cash, but you had to spend it all in one day, or you lose everything, how are you spending it? Oh, that could be gone. You could, I mean, you got to give me more options than that. Like, because you can easily $1 million in one day. You can so many easy ways. I could literally just say, "Oh, I'm just going to put it all into Feed Me More Nutrition into my business." Easy, and right there, right? And I could turn that into 20 million with that, whatever the case may be. Or I could say, "Well, I'm gonna go buy a few vehicles at Tobin Dodge, and I'll swing down by the strip and get find a woman and give her. I need to spend this really quickly. Here, take this." Right? There's so many different ways. I can go buy a house, go buy another house. Oh, go buy two or three properties for Airbnb, and turn that into $10 million over time. I would invest it personally, and then probably go get a coffee and go get a nice massage at one of the spas. Call it a day. Uh, we've got a super chat here. Smash Ultra, good to see you again, my man. I've been thinking, why is wrestling fake? Wouldn't it make sense to make the matches real? Because first time I heard of fake wrestling, I went, "What?" It's physical acting, and like I've said this, and I've used the word, and I've used it on it, and it's the most physical thing in the world. But it is entertainment at the end of the day, and that's if you want the real, you watch UFC or Bellator or any of the other smaller organizations. Pro wrestling is pro wrestling, and it's physical acting, and it's the greatest form of entertainment when it's done right. And guys, they can control the popularity of people much better long term. Whereas in fighting, once you start losing, and you could see you can go from being the hottest thing on the planet to not the hottest thing really, really quickly, right? Pro wrestling has the luxury of controlling that a lot better if they want. So that's why that it is they don't make them real fights. I can grease up Dwayne Johnson and Randy Orton and David Otunga. Derek, you're really reaching for the stars there now, my man. Really reaching for the stars with that oil. Yeah, a union would secure character longevity and branding. That's what the wrestlers need. And again, I've talked about this, and unfortunately, the big problem is wrestlers will not speak up. Wrestlers, and I know this, and I've learned this. I go, guys will tell you all day long, "Oh, we're very supportive. We're great. We think it's so cool what you're doing," but they will not, because their main source of income comes from pro wrestling, and that is why there's and anybody, even if guys were to get together, say from the AEW and WWE, you could have almost every wrestler on there that goes, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it," and then the company gets wind of it, and then they pay some guys a little extra money, and we go, "No, no, you're not going to be for this," and it can really throw a wrench in things. And I think it's just pro wrestling needs the help of some top officials, government officials, people in politics, to look at things and to kind of go, "Look, these people, we need some people looking out for these guys." because what's going on isn't right. And I do think that kind of stuff is going to come into play at some point in time. What did it feel like seeing the Undertaker in person? All caps. Um, just said hi, had normal conversations. I don't know. I've been involved in pro wrestling since I was 22 years old. So I think, um, you know, if I would have I've seen him live when I was a kid, and I just thought, oh, cool, the Undertaker. Just a person that works hard and does what he loves, and it was cool to see him. That's kind of how my brain works. What else do we got going on? Yeah, Alan, contracting versus employee, independent contractor versus employee. It's well established, but pro wrestling violates that in many ways. And I agree with you. But you're dealing with a lot of guys that oftentimes don't have a lot of options. And this is why I've won all my trademarks, by the way, because I was able to provide facts of my. So many people don't know like the details of things, and me owning my name prior to ever being there or creating it and wanting to trademark it, and the conversations that took place against me at different points. And so many of you guys don't, but this is why I've won everything and why I know I was going to win everything, because we had the facts and we had the truth, and they did a lot of bad illegal things with it. And they oftentimes they don't give people any choice or options. And if you at any time speak up and you don't have any power, they'll just replace you. They'll crush you and replace you. And it is you don't see people speak up, and you don't see former talent that are like in the Hall of Fame, or because they all want to keep getting those legends contracts or those paydays. They don't want to be blackballed. They don't want to have they've seen them. You've seen what they've done with me they put up so much fake negativity on things to create a hatred for you, because they can. They're that is what ultra wealthy people, they are manipulators on this. But luckily, I know you know what, just create content still, let people see you. The truth will win out at a point in time. And even if they're creating a massive amount of negative energy towards me, that energy could be transferred to love like that. And I'm well aware of that. And that is what I ride on that. And I just flow and grow each and every day, baby. And I know where it's all going to end up, because I've always been protected and I know who and what I am. But that's why a lot of people don't. But at the end of the day, because they don't want that backlash or that hate, or they don't want to deal with it. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I ain't normal though on that. And I went through my ankle stuff, and I never want anyone to ever have to go through what I went through on this stuff to even get to the point to even have a chance to do what I did. So super chat, Smash Ultra. What if your name is Shell Shock? Very 90s. No, that's just the name of the finishing move. I would not change my wrestling name to the 90s. And I could tell you love the 90s. Shell Shock's not a bad wrestling name at all. But after Shock Master and that whole debacle, I think it's best just to uh, leave Shock alone. I posted yesterday on Twitter that Wakefield is a money wrestling name. I think somebody in NXT or an up and coming wrestler that's going to go to AEW on the Indies should change their name to just Wakefield. Or if you want to, like, I don't know, Walt Wakefield, West Wakefield. I'm just a fan of Wakefield. Wakefield. I think Wakefield is a really powerful name. We'll see. We'll see if somebody takes advantage of it. I like the name Wakefield though. If I had to go back and do it all over again, and Ryback wasn't on the thing, and like Sheffield, I love the name Sheffield. Skip with it was done creatively on purpose to be goofy with it. Skip's not the best wrestling name for a serious character. But Skip Sheffield was never intended to be a serious character until Nexus. And then I got to get rid of this name. And then the universe said, okay, we're going to shatter and break your ankle in 3 places and make you miss a year and a half and go through pure hell to get a different name. I go, cool, we got there. Thanks. But Sheffield is a good name. Wakefield, pretty much just things with Field. uh, yeah, he's running a monopoly, dude. Capitol Hill needs to get involved since dudes are putting their lives and bodies all on the line. At risk. It should be on the Congress room floor. But if you've noticed, they are involved in politics as well, or he's not per se, but his wife is, right? There's a very, very good reason why she is. This is what you're dealing with, and on these things. And that's why I just tell people you're dealing with a monster. And that's why I do not feel bad, because I know what that monster has done to me personally, on top of what he's done to a lot of other people. And that's why I have no regrets or remorse, like when I put out the tweet a couple weeks ago, because I know what I am dealing with. And that is me, you are not going to affect me in any way, shape, or form. Yes, you may have more money, but I will get you where it hurts, and I'm going to win. I get my way, and I'm going to. But you're dealing with an absolute monster of a human. And I'm telling you, when he is gone, the truth is all going to come out. It's all going to come out. He's not going to be remembered favorably. He won't. They may try to. He will not be remembered favorably when all the facts come out. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. Thoughts on Goldberg in his prime? Ryback versus Goldberg in their prime would have been epic. Absolutely. And I've said I want that to be. I think that's the one. I think that's the last match if that could be his last match, that would be the story. I could sink my teeth into that. Hello, hello. Appreciate all the love and support over on TikTok and IG Live. Swing over to Ryback TV and subscribe, turn on notifications. Even though the notifications on YouTube, a lot of people don't get them, but that YouTube is part of the companies, which I've already known has been going on, because based off of the numbers and growing, and they've shut down the growth completely, by the way, on the channel. They are involved in the OnlyFans lawsuit with putting adult performers with people that aren't on OnlyFans. What's the Fan Centro? There's people that essentially OnlyFans conspired with social media companies, and there's a terrorist list, and it involves Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and Meta and IG. And I was told that it's going to, a lot more stuff is going to be coming out, but they've been subpoenaed, these companies, and they're going to have to, they're shadow banning people on a separate list that's not the regular shadow ban, which IG already confirmed to me exist. They literally said that they have internal ways of restricting and suppressing your account, and there's no help feature for it, and they don't have to give you any information on it. That is a crazy thing to me. And that was the lady essentially telling me, yes, yeah, you're not on an official shadow ban, which, oh, by the way, you were on that in December, that we were wrong about that, and your account never bounced back from. But yeah, we have an internal way of restricting you too, and we don't have a help feature for it. We can't do anything about it. And it's like, wait, you should, but this is all going to come out. So what they're doing is these companies are showing that with any of their partners, they will conspire with to hurt people, individuals, businesses, and things that don't fit in the agenda of what they want people to do. And that's where I think Vince and WWE is going to get tied into this. And I've always said the truth is going to come out at some point in time. Hello, hello, hello. Celtic Warrior, let's take it easy. We're going to put you in timeout for spamming. I didn't want to shell shock you just quite yet. Hello, hello. Oh, yeah, absolutely love Brock Lesnar. I think he's fantastic, and that's another one of the matches that I want. Power bombs are probably the most can be the most painful thing, just if depending on the speed and impact and how you land in the ring. How do you have got a great body when you're eating chips and burgers? Again, it's fascinating people that don't understand the context of eating one cheat meal a week on a channel of where all your other meals are eating and being vegan and plant-based and eating salads and vegetables and protein shakes 99% of the week. So that's how, along with training hours every single day and being 285, 90 pounds, that eating a bag of chips, because if you are active and you count that into your calories for the day, doesn't do any damage to you when you're not eating that stuff on a regular basis. Now, a lot of people eat that stuff every single day. That's why you look like crap. You're just seeing, and then you might look at the channel and say, "Oh, I see him just eating this food at different places," and you're not realizing you got to go back 3.5 years of a meal a week. I could do that. I could do that stuff. I could do that stuff every day and just do extra cardio and not have an impact me because I know I'd have to how much cardio I'd have to do with that. I don't want to do that though, and I don't want to be putting that stuff into my body every day. But that's how. And that's just common sense, man. You got to look at things and realize, like, oh, these aren't all happening at once. Don't be a part of idiocracy, my man. But I've said too, yeah, with the social media stuff, and but you all you have to do is just go look at my TikTok, and I'm the most followed wrestler behind The Rock and Great Khali's ahead of me on there as well. I always got to give Great Khali credit. I leave him off sometimes. Sorry, big man. But you're not red hot on one platform and massively loved, and then losing followers and like that. It just further proves what I'm telling people. I get thousands of people that will show up on a live on TikTok, and again, and the numbers here look at are small. These are the same numbers I did when my channel was at 100,000 subscribers. That is because they are not notifying all my subscribers that I'm going live. I already know this. I already know this. And it is just, it is what it is. But these companies, they're all, you're all going to see at some point in time, you're going to go, oh man, Ryback was telling the truth all along. And then you're just going to, some of you will go, oh, I feel bad for like maybe thinking he was crazy or thinking this and that. And then there's going to be people that go, oh, well, I hate him because he did this. And that's whatever. I just want it fixed and I'm going to keep on living my life. Alan says I had to notice it. I had to look for your live listing. Yeah, it's just, and it's, I've inquired and then they give you a generic answer that oh, people have to have their notifications on. Yes, I told that to you in the concern that they do, and they're still not getting it, and then they don't even reply back, and it's just like, what do you do? I've had 19 cases with Twitter they've closed now. Twitter's already admitted my account's restricted. It's been restricted 8 years. 8 years. They won't answer one question why. They just keep closing the case because because I'm not restricted for any reason other than I'm on that list through what WWE wanted. And it's not, people don't understand. They don't like take a lot of time to like, Vince and these companies, like, they don't have to give any thought. It's a thing. And it's like, once they just have people that take care of all this stuff, you're part of the thing, boom, with an AI, they can literally make a change like that. And you're just royally screwed. And I'm telling you though, this case, I've reached out to these attorneys and I'm going to, on my own, I'm going to have people start looking into it for me. I have no other choice with everything. And WWE has their settlement. They know exactly what the everything is, and the ball's in their court. And if they don't come through on their end, I speak on a lot more things. I win the trademark through the USPTO that I'm going to win, regardless of if we settle or not. But they want me to sign the NDA. They don't want me speaking, which I told you they reached out on. Well, they were the ones that they don't want me speaking, which their attorneys have said different times. We don't talk bad about, and I don't work for you guys. Don't tell me what to do. You cannot control me. And you guys have tried to ruin my life for the last 6 years. F you. Game on. I'm in control now. And if you guys don't want to come through on this, it's going to get, I'm going to just keep doing. I already know I can make things work with the way they are. but it's gonna come back to burn you in one way, shape, or form. So I'm covering my end by taking the appropriate steps in case this all doesn't get fixed. It will get fixed in other ways at some point in time. But what's going on with that OnlyFans is going to be pretty telling when these lists have to start coming out. They've been subpoenaed, and I've been told it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty big. Happy birthday to your friend Grezo. Hope you have a happy birthday, buddy. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, great point. I'm glad you. So yeah, I saw that shipping costs went up on Feed Me More Nutrition or feedmemore.com for smaller orders, 30%. But thank you for continuing to offer free shipping over a certain dollar amount for larger orders. Love the Wake Up Unlimited Energy. Thanks, big guy. You're very welcome. So that was a two-part thing. The shipping at $9.99 forever, and for domestic shipping, I had to raise it to $12.99 because shipping rates have gone up since the whole COVID situation. I've been losing, and I every month I'm like, I was told that shipping costs might balance back out. They're not. I've been losing $600, $700, $800 a month in shipping alone, just losing straight money, paying the difference in the shipping cost. And I go, I can't be doing this because we have the fulfillment now with the t-shirts, and I'm running two fulfillment companies. That's two fulfillment companies with that in the two in Illinois and then in North Carolina for the merch. So when you guys order items, and they both go out right away with that. But when you guys, all the merch is available now, even though the new website's going to be done in about a week or two, where it's kick ass. The new website, you guys are going to love it. It's very, very modern. It's going to be, these people are fantastic. But the cost, I got to pay on my end double shipping now for if you ordered 3 supplements in 3 t-shirts or a t-shirt and a hat, right? The t-shirt and the hat's coming for fulfillment over in North Carolina. Supplements are coming from Illinois on that, with that 2 different fulfillments. But what we've done is we've adjusted it a bit on the pricing of the merchandise by just running slightly higher prices to counteract my cost on the shipping on that. Because, and then, but I'm breaking even now just on my regular shipping with that. And I've lost thousands of dollars since COVID on shipping. And it was just like, I have to adjust this. And I look at it every month and I just look at it, I go, I got to fix this now before. And so that's why that happened with that. But again, I run enough discounts. And if you sign up for the massive savings discount program, you're saving so much money already anyways on it that I don't think any, hopefully people, aren't going to be too upset on that. So, but that's exactly like just full transparency on what's going on that. Thank you, Eric. The truth will win. I've said it, and that's why I've not backed down. You've not seen me change my stance because I'm telling the truth, and I know what's been done, and I know what I'm fighting against, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. But I don't get, like, even there was just a guy that came in. I blocked him out of here right away. That tries to come in and say, man, it's sad how wrestlers fall and blame all their failures on everybody else, on everything, and then can't even get 100 people on their live, even though the show is watched by thousands of people on YouTube. But like I said, 50 to 80,000 people on TikTok, and then adding in thousands on the podcast platform, and on IG will be thousands, but not I don't get seen a lot on there. But ultimately, in any given show could be seen between 60 and 100,000 people every single show with that and listen to that. Those are great numbers on that. But it's you taking numbers from every platform that you're available on with that. But they'll come in and say, oh, only 100 people are watching you live, or only not even 100 people, even though there's been over 100 the whole time with it, right? I don't have control over who's getting the notifications. People watch for a little bit, people leave. But those are the people that try to get you to try to feel bad by what you're doing. You're like, oh, should I not record? Should I stop being seen by 60 or 100,000 people because you're trying to make me feel bad that there's not 100 people on the live YouTube? There's people that are engaged. I'm happy with the numbers if people are engaged and talking to me and asking questions. The flow of the show isn't hindered at all by it. But those are people, and again, that I'll see that will try to come in and try to make you feel better. Like, again, what failures have there been? I'm one of the most successful people to leave pro wrestling in doing what I'm doing. You may not think so. You may, and again, just look at TikTok alone. That's no easy feat on that. And everything's going to come together and everything. I'm profitable and making money, and very, very happy with the growth on Feed Me More Nutrition alone. And again, in the health and everything, in needing the 5-disc fusion shoulder replacement and making health my number one priority, I've won. I've already won. Winning all my trademarks. And again, but if somebody like that wants to they try to hate you to try to make you get in your head or make you feel bad, like, hey, give up, don't do it. No, I know what the numbers are on everything. You can't win. Block, keep going. And that's all we keep doing. I wish I could meet someone like that in real life. I say that would be, I would love for them to have the courage to say that in real life, but they don't. I meet great people and I'm happy about that. Success is never owned. It's rented and the rent is due every day, every damn day. I've got that up. Is it in here? It's right behind me, right there. I used to have it in my living room. Doritos or sun chips. I think the garden salsa sun chips are vegan friendly, if I'm not mistaken. I used to eat sun chips on the road. My big thing on the road, this is before I was vegan, if I could not find food, if it was, and this would happen occasionally where like, you're just like, I would do a protein shake back at the hotel whenever I got in, but I would need something after the show. I was starving. I would usually get like a bag of trail mix, sun chips, and like an energy drink or a coffee or something for the long drive. And that would be my like little snack before I did my protein. And I would always, but those sun chips were a go-to with trail mix. I haven't had sun chips in years. Somebody, was Joe Henning, I think, just messaged me. The Axeman. I'm going to see what he's up to. WWE producer, the Axeman. We're going to wrap up today's show, guys. And I got to hit the gym and give little guy and Sophie some more treats for little guy's birthday. I appreciate all the little birthday wishes for him. You guys are awesome. And check out Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. Save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20, RYBACKSHOW20. We have the merch. Some of the merch is up there right now, and all the cool designs. You can pick your colors. We have everything, man. And when you just select the option, if you want a sweater, a long shirt, or a tank top, there's a lot of different designs for men and women. We've got different accessories, different hats, and different things. Check it all out. You order everything all in one deal. And we've got 2 fulfillment centers fulfilling everything now. And then the new website will be up in the next week or two with everything. And I think you guys are really, really going to dig all that. So check that out. RYBACK_SHOW20 to save 20%. And have a great Sunday. I appreciate all the love and support. And until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more.